So you don't feel motivated to go to the gym. Like you're the first person ever to feel like that. Like it's such a common feeling for someone to like feel the resistance of not wanting to go to the gym, not wanting to talk to that girl, not wanting to like do the work in their business or their homework or whatever it may be. And it's like all you can kind of really do is just be aware of it. I do think it's important to be aware of like why do you feel that way, and more often than not, I really do feel like it's a misalignment in like your goals or what you actually want, or just a lack of knowledge more often than not. I remember when I first started going to the gym, I didn't really feel that resistant because although I didn't go consistently at all. Like I would go like once a week just randomly, and or whenever I just felt like sometimes I would go after school, sometimes I would go like a really late night with my cousin or just like after playing video games, but it never felt like a chore, right? It never felt like something I had to do. I think that's like a really big thing. Is like I didn't need to do it. I wanted to do it because I was fat. I had cystic acne, and like I just wanted to like attract more women or whatever. I wanted to be in better shape. I wanted to be like actually go to the beach with no shirt on. I wanted to be in the pool with no shirt on. I wanted to be able to change in like public or something like that, right? Like I had these like visions of me living the lifestyle of someone who was actually fit. And so I feel like having that sort of like mental model allows for you to be like have something to grasp onto where you're like, like that would actually be really nice. And like the more you think about it, the more you desire it, the more you want it. It's so like fucking crazy. Like even if you think about like if you wanted to attract a woman and you wanted her to like you more and more, what you would have to do is almost like get her to think about you more. And more often than not, you can get her to think about you more if you get her annoyed or if you get her angry. Because if someone gives you a compliment, or a compliment works too, but it's like think about it like this: like if you give someone a compliment, they'll be like, "Oh wow, thank you," blah blah blah, and then they like, kind of forget about it after some time. But if you get someone angry, like imagine someone gets you angry, what do? You think about it for a long time. You start like having these conversations in your head, and simply because of that conversation being constantly run over and over in your head, it's all you can think about. And then when you think about it more and more, you want it more, right? So you want to engage with that person more. You want to like fight with them. You want to argue with them, and so like sometimes creating pain around the situation so you think about it more is good, or creating like mental models of like visions that you want where it's like I wonder how nice it could be, I wonder how good life could be, I wonder like what are the possibilities, right? And it's like it's so weird because all the things that you possibly can imagine for how good it could be, it's always even better than that, because you need to actually live in reality with the body you want, the business that you want, the girl that you want, in order for you to actually feel the nuances of life that's like, wow, I didn't know it could get this good. And it's like it's very hard to use that as motivation because it's like it's so nuanced. You literally don't know how good it could get, but it's like you need to be like, you know what? I need to figure out. Like you should be so curious to be like, I want to figure out how to like how good life can get, like how actualized can I be, right? Like how much success can I really reach? Because like it's limitless. Like you can just keep going more and more and more. And it's like the more you just think about it, the more you're like, fuck, like I need it, I need it. Like that's when you start like getting like crazy about it, right? But it's like if you're lacking motivation, I really do believe it's a lack of structure, maybe a lack of goals, or maybe a lack of like a pathway, right? You need to know what you want, because like if you go to the gym and you're like, oh yeah, I'm just here to just to do some shit, right? It's like you're not gonna feel that like level of intensity or motivation to be like, oh yeah, like let me really hit abs a little bit more, let me hit my arms so I get like bigger biceps or whatever, right? Like you need a pathway in your head, you need a goal, because like when you set a goal, the way I like to think about it is like from a book I read, Psycho-Cybernetics. It's like he talked about your brain is a success seeking machine, and at first I didn't understand it, but it's like your brain is essentially like Google, or it's like a search engine. So it's like if you feed your brain a goal or a search, you end up finding ways to actually achieve it, which is like so crazy. And it's like as long, and the more noise you cut out from your head, the more you can like kind of like just really dial in on that search. It's like having multiple tabs open on your like Chrome. It's like take off all those tabs, cut out all the noise, focus on one tab, go to Google, search whatever goal that you want, and your brain will literally look for ways to like find that. It's like the best example I can give you of that is like if you're like, oh, I want to see a red Tesla, you will eventually see a red Tesla. Like it's not gonna happen like this. It's not like it gets like teleported into your like reality. It's like because you said I want to see a red Tesla. I haven't seen a red Tesla in a long time. I haven't seen a Lamborghini in a long time. You'll find one. You'll see one. It might take a day. It might take a week. It might take a month. But when you finally see it, you'll be like, oh wow, like there it is. And it's like same thing with like whatever goals you have. Like, I wonder like I want to have a 6 pack abs, right? You're not gonna get it immediately, but then your brain will be like, like maybe you shouldn't eat this like marshmallow. Maybe you should eat that salad. Maybe you shouldn't go out, right? Like your brain will literally do the work for you. It's actually like fucking crazy. But it's like the more of a structured goal you have, the better like a pathway your like brain can kind of forge and craft for you to literally just walk that path, which is like so insane to think about because most people just don't use their brains like that, right? They kind of just like stimulate it and like just feed it like all types of shit dopamine, like TikTok and junk food and porn, and it's like you're wasting your fucking mental energy. You don't have the clarity for you to reach your goals. And it's like reaching your goals, achieving success. It's like it's so much simpler and easier than you would even believe. But it's like you're so distracted that you can't even do it, and you have like probably all these like limited beliefs, self-sabotage, doubts. I've dealt with all that shit. It's like it's so crazy to think about like how much. The way I think about it is like when you like meditate and you train and you like journal and you write down stuff, it's like your brain's going to the mental gym, right? Where it's like it's literally training to get better. You're trying to get your brain to be lean, to like be fit, just the same way where your body will have like lots of fat and you're trying to get lean is because your body has all this like you kind of mess up your body by eating all this like excessive junk food. Same way you kind of mess up your brain by consuming all this excessive like information or just noise, right? Just like entertainment and all this bullshit. Where it's like the more you kind of like exercise your brain and you kind of get rid of all those like beliefs, doubts, sabotage, you're like, wow, like things are so clear. I can really achieve whatever I want in this life. And it's like everything exists, all the money I want, the girls that I want, the muscles that I want, everything already exists on this planet. I just literally have to take the actions in order to get it right. It's like it gets to a point where you all like once you have the pathway, it's like I just have to execute. I just have to walk. I just have to do the things that I have to do, and then I'll get my goals like this. And then it becomes a thing of scaling. Because like what I've realized for me specifically, and I feel like for a lot of people, the hardest part is just starting. Once you start, the reason the hardest part is starting is because it's like it's such a foreign concept to your brain, where it's like I've never been to the gym before. I never talked to that girl before, right? Your brain thinks it as like some foreign entity where it's like, oh, I'm so scared to do this thing because you've never done it before. But it's not that you've never talked to a girl before. You've never talked to this girl before. It's not that you've never worked out or exercised or moved your body. It's just you haven't gone to the gym, right? Or this gym, right? It's not that you've never like done business, like you've worked before, you've been productive before, you had deep work focus, you completed tasks, you completed objectives. It's just you never did this business before. So it's like if you can kind of get yourself to be like more competent around like why your brain is like fearful or like having anxiety, it's like it never really makes sense because you remember your brain is like kind of wired for like how our caveman ancestors were, where they're like when they actually saw a real life threat, their brain started getting alarmed. Because like imagine like when like if you're like a caveman and you're just like living on your day-to-day whatever, and then you see a lion or like a saber-toothed tiger which you've never seen before, your brain will immediately go, oh my god, that's a foreign object, I've never seen that before, we should be scared. Our brains are still like that because we haven't gone through enough evolution. So it's like your brain will literally think of any foreign concept as scary. Even like when you take a cold shower, your brain will get scared. Even if you do it every single day for months, your brain will still be scared. Why? Because it's still foreign, right? Your body's going into a state of like cold where it's not normal, right? Your body's supposed to be nice and warm, comfortable. So anything that's discomfort or uncomfortable, your brain will be like, this is bad, this is scary, but it's not. It's like you know why it's good for you. You know why you're taking the cold shower. You know why you're approaching that girl. You know why you're going to the gym. You know why you're like starting this business. It's like you want bigger goals, you want bigger success, and like you have to kind of work your brain through that sort of like cognitive dissonance where it's like in between two beliefs where it's like I want to be comfortable, I want to be good, but then you're putting it in through like forceful discomfort. It's like you know why you're doing that, and you have to keep pushing until you're on the other side. And once you're on the other side, then it's like, oh wow, it wasn't that bad, it wasn't that scary, and then you're able to do it a lot more like easily because you're like now you're doing it consistently, and you're able to like, your brain figures out ways to make it easier. It becomes accustomed to it. It's like when you first talk to a stranger, it's like they're a stranger. But then when you talk to them 3, 4, 5 times, they're like, this is my friend now. And then you talk to them regularly and normally, and you're like, wow, like, this is not bad. And so it's like you have to get your brain accustomed to doing foreign concepts. And that's like really the hardest part. I'm telling you, the hardest part is just starting. Like if you can just, there's an initial hump with every like endeavor you or venture you will pursue, there's going to be this big resistance. And it will be in everything that you will ever like try to do that's foreign. And it's like, you know why you're doing it. And so that's really get you like locked in on the goals, really like get locked in with like your mental pictures, and just be like, okay, as long as I get over this initial hump, it will get easier down the line. It will get easier. It's just right now it's hard, and that's okay. It's hard because I'm not good at it, and it's hard because it's foreign. But if I just keep pushing and I just kind of turn my brain off and I force myself to go through with this anyway, I will eventually make it easy. I'll make it accustomed to myself. I'll make it normalized. It will not be foreign anymore. And if I could just do that, I will succeed, because now I passed over the biggest hump, and then we're past the starting phase, and now it's just about scaling, which is just doing it better and better and better, which is like natural, like a refinement mind. If you can do this, in the end, you're gonna fucking win.